Hi witches! So today I wanted to answer the question of, am I a real witch if I like fictional worlds like Harry Potter? So I'm surprised that I don't see this question come up more often, because whenever I do see it come up and people mention pop culture or fictional magical worlds, there seem to be a lot of strong opinions that got brought up from members of the community. So last year, before I was even an admin in the Australian Witchcraft Facebook group, I put up a bit of a fun post, which was made up Hogwarts classes that are relevant to real witchcraft. And so there were some really great ideas in there. I'll share some of them with you now. So, gardening for black thumbs. Maybe try a snake plant. Candle making 101. How not to set your altar on fire. Introduction to sigils. Your scribbles are actually magical. Introduction to the moon phases. WTF is the dark moon. Herbology for dummies. Don't eat the unidentified red berries. Crystal identification. How to tell apart citrine from citrine. And so it was all a bit of fun, but there were some comments that ended up getting removed that basically was implying that anyone that was enjoying the things that were talked about in this thread and the idea of like fictional magic and like combining it with real magic wasn't a real witch and wasn't taking their witchcraft seriously, which I really disagree with. But I'm going to talk about some of the points in this video. The other point that was raised was that these kind of fictional fantasy magical universes like Harry Potter have given young people an unrealistic expectation of magic. So should we separate fictional magic from real magic? And I think there's positives and negatives for doing either of them. So the impact of fictional magical worlds is huge. Most every witch that I've met became interested in witchcraft through a fictional magical world, whether that was through a movie like Hocus Pocus, or The Craft, or a TV show like Charmed, or Bewitched, or book or movie universes like Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings, or even through role-playing games like Skyrim or Dragon Age. They all draw us into their fantastical magical worlds, and despite the difference between real magic, people stay and they continue to study and practice witchcraft. And a lot of them as well continue to enjoy these fictional magical universes. And I think that they can exist side by side. But they don't always have to exist side by side either. So there are people that actually combine these worlds with their witchcraft. So there are people that I have come across which actually work with pop culture characters. So much like people work with deity as an archetype, people will work with these characters as an archetype. And so if you're scratching your head going, what do you mean by working with something as an archetype? Well, what that means is that instead of worshipping a deity or giving offerings to a deity, you are embodying aspects of their energy or of their myth into your practice and into you. So if you were to work with the archetype of Aphrodite, for example, you might start prioritizing self-care and self-love practices. You might try and think of yourself as a goddess and being more open to things like love and lust, because those are things that are a very strong part of Aphrodite's energy. But you can do the same with fictional characters as well. So, for example, if there's a particular fictional character which you really envy or want to become more like, you can embody some of their energies. You might go, okay, say the house of Ravenclaw, which, surprise, surprise, is my house. You might go, okay, well, I want to embody aspects of their house. So I want to be more wise and use my intelligence more and be witty and be more original and unique and things like that. And so you think, okay, well, how can I do that? And there's a whole lot of different ways you can do that. One of the ways that I personally do that is, so one of the deities that I work with is Athena, and Athena is very much associated with wisdom. She's also very much associated with the color blue. She's also associated with other things which are in the Harry Potter universe, such as owls. And so you can incorporate visual elements of that into your craft and into your altar to remind you of that. But you can also do things like, okay, so a Ravenclaw is wise and intelligent. So how can I do that? I can read more books. It's very much a part of their stereotype is they love to read books. They're interested in astronomy and astrology and all that kind of celestial aspect. And so you might then start looking at those particular aspects in actual witchcraft. So for example, Professor Trelawney in the series is the divination teacher. And so I like divination. I love learning about divination. So you can still embody aspects of that character without it being like separate from your craft. So for example, if I wanted to be more like, say, Professor Trelawney, I might look into, say, tea leaf reading, along with other things that I already do, like reading runes and the tarot and things like that. So that's just another way that you can actually incorporate those elements of a fictional world into your actual witchcraft. Then there's also the idea of using spells from fictional universes. So a lot of people say, oh, you should create your own spells. And I do also suggest that. But having said that, if you wanted to use a spell from, say, a fictional universe, that's not necessarily something that can't possibly work. In some ways, people might argue that they actually have more power compared to a spell that you might create on your own, because these have been recited countless times by many people around the world. If they're said with intention, that's also adding to the power of it. And so all of that kind of collective energy can actually really help you if that's something that you want. Having said that, there are also spells created in fictional universes that are completely impossible. And so, for example, if you were to do a spell to change your eye color, then don't get your hopes up, kind of thing. But there are other spells, like let's say you came across a spell for friendship that was from a fictional universe. You could still try that, and that's something that may actually work. Then there are also many witches that I know of which are avid fans of Dungeons and Dragons and have created characters which have magic in those universes. There are also so many witches that I know which love playing role-playing games like Skyrim and Dragon Age, and they are really invested in the universe behind it. And so I believe that it is possible to appreciate these works of fiction while being a practicing witch, and I don't think that makes you any less of a witch. So why am I wearing these Ravenclaw robes, and why am I even talking about this topic? Well, it all kind of started when a couple of weeks ago we realized that there was going to be a dress-up day at my work, and I had some co-workers ask me if I wanted to dress up as a witch. And I was obviously a little bit confused because they know that I'm an actual practicing witch. But what they meant by that was to dress up as like a witch from Hogwarts. And so we got these robes and we're going to dress up very soon. And by the time this video is out, it's probably already happened. So I'll pop a video or a photo somewhere here of my outfit. And because I got really invested in the idea of dressing up as a Ravenclaw, I decided to purchase some really expensive candles from Charmed Aroma, which are those candles that have like hidden jewelry inside them. So I decided to do like a bit of a jewelry reveal video as well. So you'll get to see some of the jewelry that I got from that too. Okay, so I didn't end up doing a video of me taking out of the jewelry of my Charmed Aroma candles, but here we go. They arrived. They smell like apple and cinnamon. They've only lost a little bit of wax. I burnt them for all day pretty much to get the jewelry to show up enough before I could fish it out. And my first candle, I was really happy. I got the Ravenclaw diadem, so that was really good. But then the second candle I did, I took some photos of the process of seeing the silver foil and then pulling it out, unwrapping it, and how it's in the little plastic bag. And so what they do is you get your little plastic bag and inside will be a ring, and then you take it out of the bag. It has a little code for you to check its value, and it's the same ring, which is a bit sad. My friend joked that I should just wear both of them because they're ravens, they're not an eagle, that they can just be like Odin's ravens. But I don't know. The other thing that made me a little bit sad is there are some Facebook groups where you can trade your doubles of jewelry, which is fantastic. But right now, because of COVID, we're actually not able to send mail overseas in an affordable way. So if I wanted to send this ring to the US, it would cost me $25, which I just wasn't prepared to do. And then I was talking to the person I was going to trade with, and they can't send rings to me either because of COVID. So yeah, I'm kind of stuck with my two ravens now. Odin's ravens, as my friend would call them. Look, they are really pretty. The jewelry is really nice. It's sterling silver. I'm really happy with the quality. I'm just not so happy that I got a double. And looking on these Facebook groups, I've realized that that's quite a common thing. And that's really the downside to when you get these kind of mystery candles is, yeah, you might buy two of them. There's quite a big chance where you're going to get multiples of the same item, whether it's a necklace, whether it's a ring, whatever. So that was a little bit disappointing, but I don't know. I may still buy candles from them in the future. They are expensive and they actually put up their prices. So I bought this for $55. And that didn't include GST, which I thought was a bit strange. The other thing which I didn't know at the time was these are coming from Canada. And so it took almost a month to actually get to me. So that was something which wasn't so good. But they do have nice things. I think it's nice just as like a little treat to yourself maybe. But it's certainly, I've seen some people which like they just buy every new candle as it comes out. And they have huge collections of this charmed aroma jewelry. Yeah, but I don't think that's a road that I want to take. But yes, it's my little review of nice candles, nice jewelry, but you might get doubles. But I hope that you found this video helpful and thought-provoking, and I'd love to know your thoughts down in the comments below if you think that fictional universes are something that should be in one box and real witchcraft in another box, or if you think that it's fine to overlap them and things like that, because I think it's a really important thing to mention in the community because clearly it is a bit of a divisive topic. So let's talk about it. Yeah. Anyway, I hope that you found this helpful. Have a wonderful, magical day, and I will see you next time. Bye.